Hey guys, John B here. Quick little announcement before you guys watch our first ever GooganCast. Myself, Flair, Perrick, and Rob will be at Fun on the Run Paintball Park tomorrow, Friday, in Fort Worth from 3 to 7. We're going to have a little meet up there. We're actually going to be playing a little bit of paintball, eating some good food, and we hope to see you guys there. It'd be kind of dope if you guys show up. We'll just talk fishing, talk paintball, I guess, and just have fun. This was my first time ever paintballing, so I'm a little nervous. But anyway, check the description below for more details. Quick little announcement. Enjoy the rest of the podcast. Peace. Cool. Are you boys ready to rock and roll?
Yeah. I'm ready. Born ready.
Neat. I'm going to put your phone down. This is serious, okay?
Super serious.
Get out of here. Come on.
This isn't recess. This is podcast.
Does this look weird? Okay.
Yeah. Hey, guys, and welcome to the first ever Googan podcast.
GooganCast.
Yeah, it's a GooganCast.
Oh, it's a GooganCast.
Yeah.
We condensed it now to GooganCast. As you guys may know, we've been talking about doing this for quite some time, and now we're pulling the trigger. We did one of these a while back. It didn't work too good. Our technology is not really.
We had the cameras turned off.
The cameras turned off.
The cameras
Yeah.
turned off on us. It was a mess. It was actually with Outlaw and
Lake Fork guy.
We might post at a later date. We don't
maybe
know.
at a later date.
If you guys want to see it, let us know. It's definitely going to be one of those deleted scene, crusty podcasts that we probably won't post until we're getting good at this. And we'll kind of be like, okay, this was back in the day. But
Yeah.
it was kind of funny. It was just so bad. We were talking for like probably an hour, and we're like, oh, the camera, they shut off. The camera shut off. So it was a whole thing was just a big Perrick moment. Regardless, we're back here now. Flair's with us, and Flair wasn't with us last time, so it's good that we've got him here.
Yeah.
And today we're just gonna have fun and talk.
Yeah.
I just said yeah.
Where
I'm
were
here.
you, Flair?
Yeah,
Where was I?
yeah, where
I
were
was
you?
in Nebraska. Yeah.
Why were you in Nebraska?
Filing taxes so I don't get in
I
trouble.
thought it
with the
was.
government.
I thought it was time to pick the corn. It was.
Actually, it's plant. We already harvested
Hey, you
last
guys want
fall,
to?
so
You guys
it's
want
actually
to?
plant. It's
You want to
actually
play?
planting the corn.
You want to play a game? Actually, why he was in Nebraska? It's a 4-letter word. Starts with the letter that comes after.
This kid can't even.
No.
Nice.
LM.
Nice.
This kid can't even roast
You
me.
were going to say Macy, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he was.
Flair wasn't there just for Macy. I mean, I'm sure he probably saw
Wow,
her.
that joke backfired.
Nice. Anyway, getting down to the business of this podcast. Each podcast is going to be pretty laid back as our vlogs and our videos are, but we're going to try to keep a central theme. And today's central theme is going to be some of our worst trip experiences ever. As you guys may know, we come across lots of disasters. We are generally the disasters when it comes to these kind of fishing trips. So I think we're just going to kind of share some of our worst fishing experiences.
I have a real cool question.
What's your quick question?
Why do you have an earbud in right now?
Just making sure that actually I can't hear anything, so I can probably.
Oh my gosh. I was like, why do you have an earbud?
The reason why is so I could look like, because I'm like official over here doing an audition. And it's just thanks for checking me there, Rob. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to go first? Worst, or did I not give you enough time to think
No.
about?
I have plenty, but I think we should start off with the someone driving a truck.
You think we should start off with the bang first?
I don't know
Big
if
bang?
I wouldn't really call it the bang. There's some Africa ones that people haven't heard of. Gecko poop.
That wasn't necessarily a disaster. I would say the tornado was probably the disaster.
There's some stuff where we probably should have turned the camera on.
The thing
but
is
we haven't done
I mean, we try to film everything and anything, but there's times where we're either too tired or too embarrassed to turn the camera on, and those are the times in which we should have turned the camera on. Those are the best experiences.
Or we're scared that Toyota executives are gonna not let us use their trucks anymore. there's that one too. So I guess we should start off with the bang.
Yeah.
So
This is
quick-
a story about Perrick and I on our Never Stop tour.
quick disclaimer before we start the story. Any Toyota executives, just turn this off and stay tuned to the next one. Don't listen to this one. Or I'm sorry. The truck's fine.
Totally fine, yeah.
The truck's fine. It just got a little mud on the tires, so we're fine.
Yeah, sure. I could set it up and I'll let you kind of take the funny part because you were the one that really kind of
Yeah. Just make sure you start off
you catalyst the disaster. You were like the driving force for this moment. I'll set it up and I'll let you take it away.
Yeah,
Spanky.
just set it up
All
as
right.
how long we stayed.
So
Like,
yeah,
you got this.
This is what happened. For those of you guys who don't know, Berg and I filmed this Never Stop tour. It was our first kind of big project, and this was like our last day. We just caught a ton of smallmouth in this backwoods area, and we were driving back. And we filmed like this off-road scene for Toyota. It was really cool. We were stoked. We were all in a good mood. Myself, Perrick, and our cameraman Wes we were like happy. We're heading home. This is homeward bound, you know. After 2 weeks of bushwhacking in the woods,
and we literally stayed like in the woods the past 3 nights.
No,
like, it was the first time.
No electricity, no cell service. I mean, it was pretty crazy. So we're heading back. We're driving down this dirt road, and this dirt road goes like about 40 miles. I mean, it's crazy dirt roads just to get to these spots. And Peric's driving. I don't know why we kind of let him drive now that I'm thinking about it, but Peric was driving the truck with the boat attached to it, his old Triton, 19 or 20 foot, right?
Yeah, 20
It's a big
foot.
boat. It's a pretty big boat.
It's gone actually.
Yeah, thank God. That thing is dusty as hell. Anyway, no, but in all seriousness, that's what happened. We were driving back, and we had about from home. What was it, like 12-hour drive or back to home? It was about
Yeah, we planned on stopping in Thunder Bay, so we had about like a 4-hour drive ahead of us, I think.
Yeah, so you were driving.
Yeah, I was driving. It was like 6 o'clock. Is this when I take over? Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We were driving down the. It was a straightaway, and I'm not really sure. It might have been.
How straight?
I mean, straight. Like this is drag racing straight. Like this is straighter than like a landing strip for an airplane. Doesn't get any more narrow and straight than this, guys.
And off to like the side is like a little bit of a ditch, a little bit of a marsh area.
It was a ledge.
All I remember was I was tired. I like looked up for a second, and we were going off the road, and then I tried to get back up, and we just started sliding in. And next thing I know, the truck was literally like this. Like, this is the road. The truck is like sideways. And they all just go, "What the hell just happened?"
Because it caught us all off guard. I mean,
They were sleeping.
No, Wes was sleeping, and I was on my computer, and I looked up, and the truck is now sideways. We were going 20 miles per hour down a dirt road. All of a sudden, it turns into a Mission Impossible scene where the truck is sideways, and everything just shifted. It goes, dun, 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 like my whole body was like up against the truck itself, and it was like disoriented. I didn't know I thought we hit something or something like that. But what had happened? I think you just looked at a butterfly that flew across the Tacoma or something like that.
After 2 weeks or whatever it was in the woods, you get a little delusional, a little.
We were all white.
So anyway,
we were
yeah.
tired.
So the truck's on its side on the side of the road, and we have the brilliant idea to crank the boat up to try and get the truck out because we were pulling a 20-foot boat.
We at least leave the boat and then take the truck out, right?
Yeah, and then we could hook the chains to the truck and pull the boat out. So we start to crank the boat up, and the truck literally starts to go like this. Starts to tip over. Like the boat was holding the truck from tipping over.
So we were on such an incline that like the only thing keeping us from actually rolling was Peric's Triton, which was crazy. So we're like, okay, well, we're not going to do that. We scratched that plan real quick.
So then we tried to go into the ditch and out, but we didn't realize that it was a bog, and we went down in the ditch and sunk, like literally sunk into the bog. Like the tires were in the bog. And then at that point, our Canadian friends came along to kind of give us some encouragement.
I would say the majority of the people that stopped were actually pretty genuine. They asked if they could help us out. But the thing is who's going to pull out a truck attached to a boat in a bog? I mean, it takes some serious stuff. So everyone kind of stopped, and they said, "You guys good? Yeah, we're good. So we had these two guys. I believe it was this one guy and his dad, who was very old, and then the other guy was actually pretty old himself. And they pulled over on the side of the road in their little F-150s, and we expected them to do what everyone else did and said, "Are you guys good or whatever?" And all I can remember is they.
The one guy had a little bit too much to drink.
They were drunk. They should not have been driving in the first place. Those are the guys that should have probably crashed into the ditch for how much alcohol they had consumed that day. But
yeah, you could share it and we can bleep out what he said. You do a good Canadian accent.
So they basically said, I expected it to be nice or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, what happened, boys? You guys got stuck in the ditch, eh?" He says, "How the did you do that? You were on the straight part. It just goes straight for about another 20 miles. How'd you get stuck?" He's right. I mean, 20 mile per hour road, all dirt, no obstacles. There's not any big hurdles you got to jump over with the truck. So I was a little shocked. I started laughing. I was like, "Oh God, this guy just wants to give us essentially. He just wants to give us crap." So Peric's over there with Wes. They're still trying to they're scratching this, trying to figure out how to get this thing out. And I'm like, well, we were just driving down the road, and I guess we just fell off. And he says, "Well, who the was driving?" And I said, "That guy over there," pointing to Peric. He says, "Well, that's why you crashed. You let the 14-year-old drive the truck. And then they continued to make some more jokes about us, but they ended up giving us some cones with reflectors on there so that no one would hit us. Like someone was going to drive in the bog and hit us again, but or actually hit us in the bog.
Yeah, at that point we were like 10 foot off the road into the bog.
Yeah, we were so far. I mean, it would have made sense on the side, but it was a mess. It was so bad. So tell them what we had to do.
So luckily we had service, and we called the nearest tow truck, which was, what was it, 2 hours away?
3
hours away.
Thunder Bay.
What was that? Was it 600 Canadian?
Yeah.
Or was it 600 American?
600 US. Yeah.
600 US to pull us out of the ditch, which they got. So at this point it was like 7 o'clock. We called them. I think they got there at 11, and the mosquitoes were so bad.
No,
like
this is the part that I remember too so vividly as well, because I was pissed at Peric. I was genuinely mad because I just wanted to go home, and we all did. And we're sitting in this truck. I wouldn't talk to the kid. I was just so furious. So we're sitting in this truck, and it's dead silent. I mean, you're out in the woods in Canada, in the middle of nowhere. There's no lights. There's no cities or anything. We're just sitting there in this truck. I'm just looking forward, just so pissed. And all I could hear was this. It was like, zzz. There were thousands, hundreds of thousands of mosquitoes caked in the car, or caked around the car. You couldn't see the front glass. Like, it was insane as to how many mosquitoes were like attracted to the heat of the car. You open the door for a second, they'd all come in, and you'd just be infested. It was miserable. I mean, think about being stuck in a bog where these things are mating and hatching. It's just,
it was so bad.
Worst possible situation.
So we waited there. They came. It literally took the guy 10 minutes to pull us out. Literally hooked
quick,
some chains out, pulled us out. And at this point, we're like, okay, wow, we just went through like one of the worst experiences ever. And we told Wes, the cameraman, not to film because we're like, wow, Toyota probably doesn't want to see their truck they just loaned us in the ditch on the side of a Canadian road. But so we didn't film, and we got out.
Everything, we would have told someone if it was damaged, but we were told, the truck was fine.
Nothing was damaged. It just had some mud on it. So we look at our gas gauge, and it goes 40 miles till E. And we're like, hey,
we got this.
We got this.
Pulling a truck or pulling a boat.
Yeah, something about the Tacomas was they hold like 4 gallons of gas?
It was a smaller tank.
It was a smaller tank. So we drove about 40 miles, and the nearest town was 100 miles away. So do the math, that didn't add up there. We ran out of gas.
First time I ever run out of gas.
And it was 2 in the morning, right? So what do? The tow truck guy's like, I'll get you some gas. And we're like, all right, how much? He's like, $100. And we're like,
we got no choice.
We're like, all right. So we give him $100. We expect him to come back with like 2 or 3 like 5-gallon tanks. He comes back with like 4 gallons of gas. He spent like $25 a gallon.
So we're still biting our nails getting to the next
spot.
Eventually we made it. But the thing is, I think the funny part is all of this did not come out of my wallet. The 4 gallons of gas. That was probably the most expensive 4 gallons of gas Peric's ever paid.
That was like almost $1,000 a day.
Yeah, that was a $1,000 mistake, which wasn't as big as my lower unit mistake, but it was definitely nice to hold up against him every time he brought up how he shaved off his lower unit.
Yeah. And then, but the good part about this was, the bad part, actually not the good part, the bad part was we finally got out and we drove to Wisconsin, and that very next morning, John took over driving, and there was like one of those awnings.
Oh, yeah.
You know the awnings I'm talking about? Remember that? Remember what happened?
Yeah, so we had kayaks on top of the truck.
Oh, God.
And I forgot that we had kayaks on top of the truck, and we needed to go to get directions to this, I think this lake we wanted to go to.
Yeah, we were trying to get to like a small lake or something.
We were trying to get a small public lake, which we heard was good. And I'm like, let's just pull into this nice country club. Really nice country club. And then instead of parking like a normal human being, I'll just slide under the awning. I'll be lazy or whatever. So slid under the awning is exactly what I did. I kind of slid through the awning, matter of fact. And I just remember driving the truck and hearing, doo, doo, doo. And I just was like, oh my God, what was that? Did I hit something around me? It took me a second to realize that the kayaks ripped apart, the entire gutter from the awning and a piece of the roof. So that was absolutely torn up. So that was another expensive mistake. So
I remember looking at each other when this happened.
We thought about it.
And we go, what do we do? And we looked at each other, we're like, we see like this old couple right there, and they looked at us. We looked at them. We're like, we can't. We literally thought about just driving away. I'd be
lying, guys, if I said a part of me wasn't thinking about just driving away and leaving a note. But the thing is like, we're both better than that, and also it was to the point where like, might as well keep going. I mean, we've already stacked up so many mistakes during this trip. So I went in and actually talked to, I believe it was like the manager of the country club, and I gave my information, gave him all my stuff, and he's like, it's gonna be about a $600 error there, son. And I'm like, add it to the bill, right? Add to the tab. And he actually ended up never contacting me. They never charged me for the damaged, which I thought was pretty insane.
Until now, and the guy's watching, he's gonna send you a bill right now.
He just reminded himself. He's like, "Oh, God, I forgot to bill that kid." No, but it was actually pretty nice of him. I mean, I was very apologetic. It was complete on accident. I mean, and then that was soon followed by the tornado that hit. A legitimate tornado ran through Wisconsin that day on the lake that we were fishing. I mean, we did something bad. We must have had some sort of bad voodoo. Like you were messing around with a witch or something like that before this trip. Like I don't know what was going on, but that was terrible.
And it wasn't like captured that great. Like I felt like the Never Stop tour was rushed towards the end. There was so much stuff that last day that happened to us. Yeah. The bog, the hitting the roof, the tornado.
That itself was the
losing the like we were driving down the road and stuff was just flying out of the boat because we were like done. We were done.
This is the last time we'll ever get like any sponsored deals for doing these Never Stop tours.
It wasn't like stuff that was given to us. It was like a paddle we bought.
Yeah.
Coolers. We lost coolers.
Coolers, paddles, dignity. I lost my dignity that trip.
I remember getting the boat to the dealership. Remember that? And the guy was like,
he went through all the things that were broken.
He was like, "What the heck did you guys do to this thing?"
There was dirt in the boat too, because when we got stuck in the bog,
there was like, rocks, dirt. We were missing like the tire was flat, no prop. The lower unit was gone. The trailer didn't even work. Like the guy was like, "How did I even make it here?" But that was the end of the Never Stop tour. That was not really shown. That I wish was captured.
Yeah, I agree.
And like I don't want to say, wow, I wish like this happens on the next one, but
we learned. So next time we have some mistakes, we'll be sure to press that little red record button and
But you guys are hearing them first time right now.
Yeah. So anyway, we just went on a long spiel. I want to hear because the thing is, there's some trips that I've never been on with you two, and I'm sure you guys have some mistakes. Be curious to hear some, unless you've got some in mind that we were on. I mean,
unless you want me just to talk about American Airlines, because.
Oh yeah. All right, so Peric and I just got done rambling for about 20 minutes there. Flair, do you have any good stories that you regret or maybe just don't want to tell but are going to tell us right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I take more caution than this kid. Like I feel like
he looks at me. He looks at me, and he doesn't look at you. Even though there was some parts to that story that was about him.
Mainly you, though.
Oh yeah.
I plan stuff out, and I've had generally.
He's a planner. He's a planner. If you didn't know this,
they make fun of me.
He'll call you, and he goes, "I want a plan. I want bullet points. I want numbers. I want dates. I want times. I want everything."
No.
I'm like, Flair, shut up.
What I noticed is ever since I stopped fishing tournaments, like things go in my favor. Like anytime I fished a tournament, stuff just went bad. And one of the times was with this kid. Actually, not with him. I never knew Flair, and he's like, "Hey, I'm coming down to Lake Springfield." Yeah, so we
Lake
never
Springfield
met.
down
John.
The first time
I never met John.
Actually, you were there too. You were my boater. John was my boater.
The first time I ever met John and Peric, I was fishing a high school tournament. It was the Midwest Open.
Let's leave the links below for these videos we did.
Yeah, we can do that. We can drop the videos.
There's got to be some context.
I do have videos.
Yeah.
I do have videos of that.
And they're old videos too, which are kind of funny.
Yeah. So I like text Peric and I'm like, "Hey, yo, I'm coming to Illinois and I'm gonna come fish this tournament because I think I'm a really cool professional fisherman." And
no, wait, no, that's not what happened. I remember what happened. You're like, "Yo, dude, I need to qualify for nationals. I'm gonna come out there and I'm gonna fish this." And I go, "Dude, you already qualified for nationals." He's like, "No, I didn't." I'm like, "Yeah, you did, dude. This is not gonna qualify."
Oh yeah, I forgot.
You were there for no reason.
He came to Illinois, which was how long? How far was the drive?
It was like 7-8 hours.
He came for 7-8 hours. He already qualified for nationals. So fishing.
I wanted to double qualify because I'm that good at fishing. So
he's an overachiever.
So I didn't know I qualified for nationals. I didn't understand the whole thing, and so I was like, I'm gonna go compete.
It was really clear. Like I even understood.
I'm gonna go compete against Peric, and I'm gonna beat him and qualify for nationals. Apparently for the second time. So we're sitting in the meeting, and that's what I found out is I already qualified. So that kind of sucks. But before that, so we're pre-fishing. So it was me and my partner Ethan and my dad. And we're in this little bass tracker. It's the boat that you guys always used to see me fishing like last year, the little aluminum one. And so we're pre-fishing and we're struggling. We're not catching many fish. And I hook into I think it was like a 10 or 20 pound freaking drum. Do you remember that? That drum that I caught?
Giant drum.
Yeah,
it was a giant drum.
Huge.
And so I'm like releasing this drum and all of a sudden the wind picks up from like 15 to like 30 to 40 miles an hour. I was like, oh God, like we better get going. And we're in like a bass tracker. The thing goes like 20 miles an hour, like topped out, three dudes in all of a tackle. And so we start like hauling down the lake and the waves are getting pretty big and there's rain and I was like, oh, you know, I want to be a YouTuber and whatnot. Let me get my Snapchat out real quick. So I pull out my phone and I was like videotaping the waves and it's like, doosh, douche, and all of a sudden we go up and we go down, and the water hits the bow of the boat. And I look down, and there's water up to I'm sitting in the boat seat, just my dad's driving, I'm sitting here. I look down, and there's water here, and my phone's underwater right now. And I'm like, oh, that's toast. So I like throw my phone down, and I
Didn't
actually
the Snapchat story get posted or something like
Yeah,
that?
it
I remember
posted.
seeing
I
that. I
have
was
the
like,
video
did
of
he
it. So
die
what-
after that Snapchat story?
I remember. I
Cut to like water.
I called him. I called him. I was like, dude, you okay? Like, what happened? No response. I'm like,
It was bad.
I think Flair's dead. And then he showed up to the meeting. He was like, oh, my phone's broken. But
Yeah, so
Continue that
so
story.
the video, like we said, we'll link it down below. It's all on there. And so that's not even like the bad part is we're probably like at least a 10-minute boat ride away from the boat ramp. And it's like we're riding these waves, like they're just like we're like in the freaking ocean. So we ended up like finally getting back to the dock, but what happened is they're floating docks. So if you guys have ever seen floating docks in wind, it's like they do this with the waves. So they're like going up and down. So we couldn't even like dock the boat. So we ended up finding some random dude on the bank who was like looking at us thinking like, are you guys dead? Like, are you okay? Like, what? And also our bilge pump was broken. So the water is still in the boat. And so we're just like hauling at like 9 miles an hour across the lake. So we end up grabbing my dad's keys and throwing the keys onto some stranger and just said, it's the red truck. So some stranger backs
unreal.
the boat down, hoping he doesn't just take off with a brand new truck. And then, so he backs it down and we get it on there. My phone, I put it in rice overnight. And then like whatever, showed up basically to the tournament, and Perry thought I was dead.
how'd you do in that tournament?
I don't really want to talk about that.
The
but
one thing I do remember
it wasn't that good.
The one thing I do remember that tournament, I'm sure whoever's like honest to God, I think I said this in an old video or something like that, and I'm gonna be kind of hesitant saying it now, but I remember I almost said very vividly again. I've said that twice now, but I remember very clearly that during the weigh-in, he had like a small bag. Perry had a pretty small bag too. I mean, you guys both had squeaky
Yeah, you beat me by
bags.
a
I think we came in like, what was it, like 7th?
You didn't do great.
Yeah, it wasn't.
did great.
I
None
didn't
of us-
I
neither
didn't
one of us did.
qualify for
Anyway,
what I needed
neither
to
one of us
qualify.
Anyway,
qualified. Well, I already was
the
qualified.
dudes that won, I remember this cringiest
yes.
moment of my entire life
my
during a
gosh.
tournament.
This
They
was
had a
so
giant bag. They
Did
had
they
like
drop
what,
the
like
fish?
Yes,
Did they?
several
No,
times.
but it
18,
wasn't.
19 pounds, right? It was a big bag for a lake like this in
Yeah.
Illinois.
several
Here,
times.
yeah, and it wasn't like you got to set this up also. Like, here's the stage. I just spit all over
I
myself.
hope you guys are watching by now.
Yeah.
I hope you guys are
Okay,
watching.
here's the stage. Then there's like a little divot and then a little divot. So you're like 5 foot
stage
off the
is-
ground.
yeah, the stage
and
is
then
5
there's
feet.
straight concrete.
There's actually gravel parking lot
Yeah,
to
I'll
be
do it.
exact.
And they're like, you know those pictures like where the guys are like holding the fish, like, and they're like trying to hold these.
It's
fish.
giant. Like, this is a 6-pound bag.
And then all of a sudden you just hear. And everybody just goes.
Like, granted, this is the Midwest Open. There were cameras for ESPN2 there. Like, they were streaming it live for the internet, and like a crowd of people
I
were
closed my
watching
eyes.
this. And this kid just boom, just drops a 6, smacks against the concrete, and we're like,
and if you're wondering if the fish is okay, it died on impact. I'm
Yeah,
not
like,
even being funny.
it was
It actually
toast.
Straight
died. I've never seen a
smash.
fish
Toast.
die
Straight.
on impact. It was the saddest thing
totally
ever.
forgot about that.
At a lake like that too.
You remember how he caught it
Might have
too?
been 7
but they
pounds.
caught it. They dropped it twice.
Yeah, dude, it was
there was
so
like
bad.
3 fish dropped in that tournament, and we're sitting here like, okay, these kids need to like just step
No, but
away from the edge.
I remember that guy being like, yeah, first cast in the morning, and my boater pulled me up to the spot, and I took a cast, and I got a huge backlash.
No, they were in the what did they call that? There's a spot on that lake where they called it something.
Cut. That one
The
cut.
discharge?
No, they called it. There was a name for it where they went, and it was like off limits or something. I remember I was so pissed. I was so
Yeah,
pissed.
so guys, can we get these dudes DQ'd or something
Yeah,
like that?
can
They
we-
dropped
can we-
fish.
can
They were
we
fishing
revoke
off
their
limits.
trophy real
No, but
quick.
I remember that.
Flair should have won that tournament.
God.
No, I remember the guy was like, yeah, my boater took me to the spot, and I pulled up there, and I took cash, and I got the biggest backlash I've ever gotten in my life, and I was picking that thing out, and I reeled up, and I caught a 6-pounder. I don't know, the biggest bass I've ever
It was
caught.
pretty ridiculous.
And then he dropped it on stage, and it was.
Yeah, no, we were very
peace.
skeptical on these kids. who won it.
Rob, did you like that Alabama accent?
I didn't know that was Alabama. Or just like I didn't
I
know
don't.
that
I was kind of a Southern Illinois mixed with a little bit of Alabama, mixed with a little bit of. I don't know. It was a
Your
mix.
own thing.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
It was a
No.
mixture of accents, but yeah, they dropped the fish. It was pretty bad. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the story about how
We'll never forget.
me and John and Perrick met.
Yeah,
that was the first time
that
we all
story's
met.
never really been told, but that's the first time we actually met in person.
What was that, like 2014?
14. I think I was like a junior going into a senior year in
No, it
college.
was
or
15
high
because that was
school.
my first. It was after my first year of college.
Oh yeah, John
Oh,
was
it
my
was
boater.
15,
John was
Yeah.
my boater.
I wasn't actually fishing that.
Oh
day.
yeah, oh yeah. We didn't clarify that. So we pull up and like I'm like, oh yeah, I'm competing against Perrick, and all of a sudden John hops out, and of course like I knew who John was because John was like the main dude on YouTube. And I was like, what's John doing here? This kid's in college. Like, he can't, I don't want to compete against John. And he's like, no, I'm captaining. I'm like, oh, we're screwed. We're screwed. John's captaining them in Illinois. Like, we're all going to freaking lose. And
It wasn't much of a, it was.
no.
I blame
These
it.
guys still sucked it up.
I think I blame it on my partner, Matt.
He was actually wearing
That
John's
was the one that was
jersey.
throwing the Cinco, though. On the halftime, I said, guys, pick up a stick bait. No, they're eating a flip bite. I'm like, dude, just try a stick bait. It always works. You're probably not going to catch any big fish.
That's
At least
all
you
I
get
caught
bit.
fish on.
And they picked up a stick bait and they caught him. I'll
The
take
only-
credit for that
That's all
one.
I caught fish on was a little Senko.
Yeah.
Sanko.
There's half times.
Oh yeah, that's a good story.
Yeah,
to
that
tell.
was stupid. That was
we
one
were,
of the
we were
first
all
high
pissed.
school.
We were pissed, and they were like, got to the meeting. They were like, you guys got to take a halftime break for 10 minutes.
Mandatory halftime.
Mandatory halftime. But it's like not regulated. Like, no one's like watching you.
I made him sit down and eat a sandwich. I was like, you got to take it, buddy, or I'm going to DQ you. I was like, at the phone ready. I was like, if you don't sit down, I'm going to call the
Yeah, you have
the
to like
director.
you have to take like a 15-minute break. Like, you can't fish or anything. But it's not like
And,
regulated.
for me, I was like running around the boat. Like I was like, what do I do? Like
this is stupid. This is dumb.
this is dumb. Back in the
high
days.
school, man.
High school days.
High school tournament fishing.
Let-
I had
let-
fun
hey,
times.
I know there's some high schoolers watching. Let me know if they revoked that break time. I'm really curious.
I hope it hasn't gotten any worse for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's progressively
it
getting
has.
worse.
I bet
If it has, we're gonna.
It used to be good.
We should start our own high school organization. What do you guys think,
Let's do it.
Rob? Rob has been
I've
pretty
been very
silent
quiet
this
this
podcast.
entire podcast. I've been listening to the story.
Have you been thinking about your story?
Well, no, 'cause the only thing I can keep thinking in my head is gecko boop. That's the only thing I can think of because
Wait,
it's,
you guys ever heard the story?
No, we gotta say
I
it.
think he
gecko
told.
poop.
No,
I mean,
maybe
gecko
he didn't
poop?
tell me about that.
it's John and his gecko boop.
Gecko poop.
It's because the only thing I think of is the African guy that kept saying, "It's just geckos. It's just geckos."
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's literally poop all over the bed.
Worst
That's the only thing I
story
can think of.
I think I'll let you tell this one from your perspective because I was not really like having any fun.
You were hate. You was at this point. This
Yeah.
is part of Africa. We got to
Again, one of those things where I wish we would have filmed it because it was like a very funny moment. Like Africa was a very serious trip for us,
Oh,
but
God.
stupid stuff happened all the time.
Remember when we were sitting in the car? Oh yeah, I was stuff. Okay, so we get to the place where we're supposed to be sleeping. This is daylight still, and we haven't gone fishing or anything. And there's spiders,
Rain. They call them rain spiders.
and they're like
Fast.
they're like this big or so
They're
at least,
so
and they run
fast.
everywhere, back and forth, back and forth. And I, oh god, I forgot to tell about the part when you were butt naked in the shower and you came running out.
He told me that
was on
story.
video.
That
a
was
little
on
bit.
video.
Yeah.
There's a part of this video. It'll be linked below, but you guys will see like it'll be me stand up and hit.
I don't like
the
spiders.
wall.
I don't.
But the entire time there was like a portion. I'm glad I didn't edit this video next to on the plane because all you see is John stand up butt naked and go running on camera. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm sitting there trying to do like an intro.
It could have been like a rat. It could have been like a bird or I don't know anything but a spider. But it had to have been a spider. And I like felt like so like I was like this thing's gonna eat me. Like I'm in the shower. Like
It's on
he's
the
got me
wall,
cornered.
yeah.
What was funny is like I peer out and I'm like is that a spider? And I like kind of look and I kind of like go like this and he goes. I'm like, oh god. I saw how fast it was. Like I can't outrun that thing. So I was like, Rob, kill it. So it was,
this was all on film. He come running butt naked out the door, and he's just standing there, just look, kill the spider, kill. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, so I killed the spider, but that's just to say they were all the spiders were about that big, and they were so freaking fast.
they weren't venomous, but they were just scary.
Yeah, apparently they weren't.
They'll
They didn't
crawl.
tell us that though.
No, yeah, they never
They
said
never
that.
said anything like, there it is, spiders. But we're like, no, hell, there's 40,000 of them in this room. Well, we go into this place, and we just got done from fishing, and it's dark out. And John whips out his light, and I think I have most of this on film. But it's what happened afterwards. Is we couldn't contemplate. We were trying to figure out if we were going to sleep inside this room or go just sleep in the guy's
Because the rooms
car.
were like bad. The thing is, there wasn't
we had
really
no AC. We had no
No AC.
no window screens.
There was not a wall. There was not a part of the ceiling wasn't there too. It was just
Yeah.
open. So no joke, bats or birds could have flown in. But that wasn't what I was worried about. I was
My
worried
thing was
about.
snakes.
Yeah,
the most poisonous.
They're
venomous
very
egg-
venomous
oh,
snakes
just-
there. Black mambas that hang from the trees. So imagine one of those hanging up from the rafters from your. I mean, it's very possible. This isn't kind of stuff that like on an off chance could happen. Like they're there. You could definitely encounter something that could send you to the hospital. And the thing is, there's no hospitals around, so it's a little sketchy. But the things I was worried about were the harmless spiders. That was one thing. He was worried about the black
The only
mambas.
thing I think it was like I was laying in my bed like I don't give a shit about these spiders. I'm just
Yeah.
thinking this black mamba.
Yeah, that's all he said.
I'm
It's like
saying black mamba.
I wasn't afraid of the black
Black
mambas.
mamba.
This is funny. We both had separate fears.
But there's these spiders everywhere, all over the ceiling, and he had this really heavy. I don't know why you brought this, but the most heavy,
It was a
thick
thermal rain suit.
thermal raid suit. And I was just gonna tuck my pants into my my shoes and whatnot, and I look over and he's got this giant overall Carhartt thing.
I had my bibs on.
bibs thick,
my boots
like,
on.
thick bibs, tucked into his boots, strapped down, and then he had this thermal hoodie on, strapped. And I looked over,
I didn't want anything to crawl in.
There's no
my...
way you're gonna sleep like that.
And it's like 90 degrees.
It's so hot.
It's humid.
It's humid. It's hot. We have no fan, and there's spiders everywhere. So we're like, you know what? We're gonna go sleep in this guy's. We thought he might have been asleep by then.
Yeah, we were like, this guy. Before we left, I'm like, hey man, like, dude, this. It's kind of sketchy. Like, is it right? Like, as a joke, Rob was like, "Oh, we're gonna sleep in your truck tonight." And he was like, "Sure you are." And I looked at Rob, I'm like, "Dude, we might actually have to do it because this is like bad. This is bad." So, I looked at Rob. I'm like, "Dude, I can't do this. I seriously can't." I was dead serious. I wasn't being funny at this point. I was like, "Dude, I cannot do this." I'm like, "Let's just go in his truck." I'm like, "Screw this. Let's just go in his truck. Be really quiet or whatever, and he won't know." And Rob's like, "Yeah, let's do it." I turned around and I'm like, we have to go into this dude's car because it's dry in there. It's gonna be a little bit cooler, and there's no freaking spiders in this dude's Toyota. So
For sure.
100% no spiders, and there's like even snacks in there or some water too. So anyway, we no joke. It's like late at this point. It's like probably like 1 a.m. or whatever. We tiptoe around all the huts and to this guy's his truck, and we open up the doors like real quiet. I'm like, we're kind of laughing at this point. It's like, dude, like how funny would it be?
Ridiculous. Like,
yeah, we're sleeping in some guy's truck we don't know. We've known this guy for maybe 3 days now.
No, a drive up there. That's all.
Yeah, a drive up there. That's when we first met him. This dude drove us up. He's basically our guide, and we didn't even know him that well in the first place. So we're like, we're gonna sleep in his truck. That makes a lot of sense now I'm saying it out loud. So we got in the guy's truck. And I'm like, dude, this is the best. We're like, I'm comfortable. The seats recline.
I was like going.
I was ready to like get like a little makeshift pillow with my my big bibs or whatever. And I'm like ready to fall asleep.
I had my eyes open. I was looking up. I don't know what I was doing. I think I was reading the Bible or something on my phone. And I looked up, and all I could see was a dude standing there with no shirt on.
Like his nipples are out.
Just standing there. And I go, John. He
sleeping.
He wasn't looking at me. He was looking through the front window at John, like just sitting there like this. And I go, John, look to your left. Look to your left. John goes, oh God! Oh God!
He was looming over us, just not even knocking on the door or anything, just staring at us from outside. And we're in Africa too, so
he didn't knock on anything. He just sat there and just looked. I was like,
I was like, Rob, what do I do? Do I open up the door? And the guy's just looking at us. The dude, the owner of the truck is just looking at us. I'm like, I open up the door and I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, no, man, you can't sleep in there. You can't sleep in my car.
We forgot to tell him that the main reason was when we left because all the poop that was on the bed sheets.
Oh yeah, what really got me?
Not the spiders. It was
the whole story was called gecko poop, and we didn't.
I was wondering where the poop was coming.
It comes around.
There was poop all over the bed sheets.
So yeah, I went to go lay down on my pillow, and I looked there. I'm like, dude, there is poop on my pillow, and he starts laughing. He's like, no way. There's like a pile of like small poop. I'm like, that's rat poop. I'm like, that's what did it for me. I got so mad. I was like, I'm not doing this, dude. I'll sleep in Africa. I'll sleep on the dirt floor if I have to. I'll sleep outside if I have to. But I'm not sleeping on a pillow with a rat poop on it. Like that's where I draw the line. So that's what made us go out there.
Yeah.
So I go out. We go out and we fast forward to the part where the guy wakes us up. I open the door and I'm like, dude, we can't sleep in there, man. There's rat shit all over my pillow. And he says, no, man, there's no rat shit. I'm like, dude, there's poop on my pillow, Jan. The guy's name was Jan. I was like, Jan, I'm not doing this. He's like, you can't sleep in my car, though. I mean, understandable. I get it.
Wait, why didn't he want you to sleep in the car?
I don't know. He was just kind of weird about it.
I think it was like more like a.
He thought we were being disrespectful, or not?
He felt bad. He's like, okay.
Yeah, he felt bad. Yeah.
That's what it's saying. He's like, he drove us 16 something hours up there. He's like, well, these guys' sleeping accommodations are not good enough. They want to sleep in my car.
Yeah. So I remember I was really tired. I was like, everything doesn't make any sense to me. And he's like, no rat poop. I'm gonna go clean it up for you. I'm gonna kill he literally said, I'm gonna kill those spiders and clean the rat poop up for you. And I'm like,
I just want to make it very clear. When I say spiders, or he says spiders, there was hundreds.
Yeah, like a new hatch just rolled in.
They did just everywhere. Yeah. I mean, they didn't bother me near as much as the black mambas, but when he came back, that's when it got real awkward because you were like, "Do you think he's gonna come back? Do you think
he went with this
gone.
Shirtless dude went off. Jan shirtless dude went off into the darkness, and we're like, what did he do? Like he didn't really give us a plan. He just was kind of like
shut the door and kept going.
Yeah, so I was like, maybe we can just sleep here. Maybe he's like cool with it. So then, like 10 minutes pass. I'm like, damn it, dude, he's coming back.
Do I open my eyes? Do I close my eyes? Do I open them? I just remember him saying that. I'm like, I don't know. This is getting real awkward. He goes,
I hope you guys have a good image in your head of this whole situation.
John's so they're like, do I open my eyes? I'm like, I don't know, dude. What do you want to do? And he goes, John goes, come on, I got all the spiders. And we go.
He killed all the spiders.
We go in there and it smells like like hairspray, just like I don't know what the hell it was.
It was worse than off. It was like
like African version of off. It just like there's no regulation, so like you walk in there and it felt like your eyes were burning out of your skull. And you're like, no, that wasn't rat poop. That was gecko poop. And John goes, wait, does it really matter? There's poop everywhere.
And that's when he started. He was like actually kind of like not in the mood to deal with this, but that's when he started laughing. We all started laughing at that point. We were just dying. I remember how funny it was because I'm like, he looks at me. He realized that I'm now dressed in like this full body. So he's like, what's going on, man? What are you doing, dude? I'm dripping in sweat. I slept perpendicular on the bed. My feet was hanging off the bed.
No, your feet were on my. So I was sleeping like this, and he was sleeping like this with his feet on my bed.
Because there was this linear area where the poop was landing, and I wasn't gonna put my face right there, especially sleep up like this. So I slept like downwards, part of my body on Rob's bed. I still had my big heavy steel toe boots on with my bibs. I slept like that over the night. That was one of the worst nights sleeping I ever gotten. I woke up and I remember being so pissed. I was like, dude, I can't believe this. And this is what's kind of funny about this. I woke up and I was like, that was the worst night of sleep ever. And I hear this like doot, doot, on my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my god, Gecko pooped while I was sitting there on the bed. I'm like, this is so screwed up, dude. We got to think of something. And the next night, it got a little bit better, but
got a little bit better. I woke. Okay, so this is a quick one. This is almost, I want to call this like Hurricane Katrina Africa style.
This is so bad.
This was so crazy. So we're sleeping in a hut, like
no windows.
No windows, of course. But it had these sheets on the front of the window. The only reason why I know this is because it scared the living shit out of me. And I'm like, okay, so there's no windows. All right. So when it blows, it blows. And I'm laying in my bed sleeping. You know, it's probably 3 a.m. because I was getting really good sleep. And it was really comfortably hot inside that room, sweaty. I was so sweaty. So anyway, all of a sudden, I got hit in the foot by something, and I'm dead asleep. I woke up so fast because I thought somebody was coming in to like do something to me in Africa. I don't really know.
You never know. I mean, we're in a village so far away from.
So far in the middle of nowhere. Something hit me in the foot like this. I jumped onto John's bed, all in one motion. I'm like, John, get up, give me a light. I start shining like this, and it's the freaking wind is howling.
The curtain pushed it. The wind was pushing the curtain so far it hit his foot
hit my
hard.
Foot, scared the shit out of me, and I wake up. But now we have to deal with all of our clothes, all of our stuff is just
blowing around in the room.
Like, and John wakes up, he goes, I'm done. I don't know what to do. He's just sitting there. He's like,
I was so tired. It was like 3:30 a.m. I was like so finished with Africa at that point. I mean, this is where we were getting our butt kicked by these tigerfish too. So it's not like we were like our hopes were just so low. And we did this like half asleep. We started stacking our luggage in front of the window to keep but the thing is the window goes all the way up here, so or the hole in the wall goes all the way up here, so it's not like we could have stacked it too much. But what we did is we weighted down the curtains with the stools that were in there and our luggage, so the curtains weren't hitting us as we sleep. I mean, like 50-60 mile per hour winds, like insane.
It was bad wind.
The weather in Africa that time of year, like during their summer months, right? Correct?
Yeah.
It's just so crazy. It rains for about an hour, and it rains really hard, and then it stops, and it rains again, and you've got wind, and you've got heat, and sometimes it gets a little chilly, and it's like, what is going on? So,
there was a part I don't think you know about. Do you know that? Because we were staying at like the Prince.
So we were staying at the King's Lodge, but the King wasn't there.
The King and the Prince or whatever. Anyway, it wasn't mean for Africa. I guess it was a King's Lodge, but he was standing outside the next morning, and I don't think you were around. He was talking to Jan. And he looks at Jan and he goes, man, I'm real surprised that tree didn't fall down over there on you guys.
Oh, during the windstorm, yeah.
He goes, I've been waiting for that one to fall. And I'm sitting there like, this son of a...
I remember telling him about that, yeah.
I was like, son of a bitch.
But that was the one over their tent, though, right?
Yeah, it was a giant tree. I'm like, what?
So our guide slept under this giant tree. And last night, he's like, oh, wow, you had a big windstorm last night, guys, huh? And they're like, yeah. He's like, I'm surprised that tree didn't kill you guys. Essentially, that's what he said.
I was like, what the... Yeah. All right, real quick, there was a time they had these fire ants in Africa. They're like that big, like giant. They're like our cow ants, and apparently they put a tent down on top of it. Did you hear about this? They put a tent down on top of it.
That was the last trip they did.
They had the ants ate a hole through the tent and just ate through the guy's sleeping bag and like started eating him.
And we thought we had it bad.
And I was like, oh god.
Yeah.
My god. And we're worried about gecko.
So this guy's
getting eaten alive.
This guy's driving us like 14 hours up to the spot. And he's telling all of these horrible stories, and I'm thinking like, is it too late to maybe just do a U-turn real quick? Maybe just fish for bass back at the dams in South Africa. But to be truthful, regardless of the lack of tiger fish that trip, what made it awesome were those things. Yeah. But like it's again, I always say this, it's in the experience, it was hell. But thinking about it now, it's like the funniest story, the best thing to talk about ever, and it makes for good podcasts.
Oh, it's so great. I mean, you guys should have heard John try to take a shower. Dude, do I? I'm glad
the showers in Zambia were 1,000 times worse than Botswana. Oh my God, they weren't even showers. You saw where the water came out of the building.
Yeah.
There's like a little pipe that like dumped into a hole. I mean, it's just like, and granted, I know that this is what people live. This is how they live like that every day. And I can't imagine, but for us, it was just like, it was different, and it was just a little.
He didn't like the spiders. I just remember he would go in there, take a shower, he'd be like,
I'll sleep in a tent in Africa.
He would hold his phone in his mouth, and you'd hear him go, ah, ah, because he was pointing the light up so he can see while he washes his body real quick.
Oh yeah, I had the headlamp on too when I took a shower.
Yeah, you go.
Oh my gosh!
He goes, I'm gonna find out if this thing is waterproof. I'm like, you.
Quickest shower I ever taken in my life. It's like in and out, done. So you guys heard a few of our not so great stories. I won't say they're terrible because they make for good podcast material. But that's essentially what we want to start our first podcast as, is some of our epic failure trips and amazing moments, whether it be in Africa or Springfield, Illinois. Quite a contrast there. Anyway, we really hope you...
Canada, Springfield to
Oh
Africa.
yeah, we went to Canada. So you're internet world traveler.
Yeah.
This is
world traveler.
World travelers over here. But we do want to. One thing I want to add is, if you guys have any ideas,
let us
Kind
know
of
what
podcast ideas.
next topic should be.
because we've got ideas. We've got a little board over there.
Yeah, I looked at that real quick.
Wow, we don't really have a lot of ideas. So comment some
We need
ideas
some
below.
ideas.
It could be like, of course, fishing related, non-fishing related.
Yeah, we're thinking about doing a tackle
we could do
tips
maybe one
video.
episode. We could talk about our ex-girlfriends.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't have many of those.
Yeah, I say I don't know.
Peric's got.
I just have one famous one. That's about it.
She's not.
She's watching this.
She's not that
cute.
famous. She's like, I hate that guy.
She's definitely not watching this. I think she might. She blocked after I.
Blocked your YouTube?
No,
Is that a
blocked
thing?
everything.
I think I should do that too. Should I ask her how to do that? Block you in general.
Forgot to laugh on that one. Okay. Next.
Okay, so
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
yeah, that's pretty much it. We do want to say thank you guys so much to our sponsors over at
What do we got?
Let me do it.
What's it called? Though?
It's called Ramu.
Yeah,
Ramune.
Ramune. We both have one.
Yeah.
Today we're gonna take a.
Pull both up at the same time. Give
No,
me
hold on. I'll do it awkward. Like.
Oh,
we got this.
you've already got it awkward.
Yeah.
Is this even recording right now?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully. So today we have to thank our of course, I mean, I got this. Just give me a second. Okay. So each of these podcasts are going to be sponsored by different companies and brands. We can't thank our sponsors enough for enabling us to live the dream and, sit here and do podcasts for you guys. So today's soft brand promotion is the Ramune soda.
This
Alex, do you want one?
No, we got the grape.
This is the grape soda. And Alex, have you ever had one of these before? They're really good.
No, I have not. Where can we get these?
I was actually looking at the top of it. You have to. There's a plug.
Sweet.
There's like a.
Yeah. So all you do really with these, it's really simple, guys.
Wait. Stop. Wait. Let's do this at the same time, so it's cool.
No, we would like to watch you try to figure this out.
You ever done this before?
Put the plug in.
Hold on. Wait.
It's taking too long.
Wait. Count down. 3.
Oh no! Right to the mic, dude. You got it.
3, 2.
Oh yeah, that was.
Did you get that idea?
Yeah, and there's a little ball in there, and don't worry, you can't choke on it. So if you're underage, it won't
Why is there a ball in there?
What's the ball do?
It's aesthetic.
Oh, okay.
That's the ball that's plugged in this.
So then you just take a little sip, and then there you go, Ramune soda. Check them in the link in the description below. We really appreciate it.
You got also another soft plug.
Can you
Benny
look at the
Hannes.
camera when you do it?
Benny Hannes.
Get a face the.
Benny Hannes.
Benny Hannes. You could get these at Benny Hannes.
Really?
Yeah.
Perry, you looking at the camera? Which one are you looking at?
Benny Hannes.
This one. This
Japanese soda. Sponsored.
Hey guys,
but on a real note, huge shout out to MTV for actually
Yeah.
helping us out. We do have a
Unfortunately,
logo.
not yet. This isn't our actual sponsor, but shout out to MTV for sponsoring these podcasts and these.
That looks really dangerous.
They're too lame to be called podcasts. Just call them something else.
No, it's a GooganCast.
GooganCast, yeah.
I thought we did. This
We already established that. You're right.
Wait, did you just call this GooganCast too lame to be called a podcast? Or
I don't know. It's just
No,
like,
this was a pretty good one, I thought. I mean, we told
I thought it was
stories
good
that never
too.
been told.
So it should be. We shouldn't call it a podcast.
but let's wrap it
this
up.
is
Give him a thank.
dark.
Let's give him a thank
Okay.
you. Check the link in the description below.
Thank you guys so much.
A little more enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Thanks, fam.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Jeez, wait,
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys. Oh, yeah, let me.
Thanks, fam. This is a fire podcast.
Fire. Okay, well.
Are you
struggling
over there?
No,
No, he
he's
just
saying
gets
fire.
He gets mad at me when I say
Well,
fam and fire.
This is it. That's it. We'll see you guys.
Well, guys,
on
we're
the
gonna
next
have the Googan Squad and MTB logo up there in the next, or not the next one, but in a couple weeks. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed today's video. Check the link below if you want to check out a mystery tackle box, and that's about it.
Yeah.
We can't punch the
Can we
cameras
all-
from this far. So.
How
Watch
do
this.
we-
Watch this. Watch this.
That was sick.
Were you guys watching? Did you guys catch? There you go. Got him.
Was that yours or mine?
That's yours.
Damn it.
All right, boys, we did it.
Well.